Good evening, Internet, and welcome to episode 13 of Malt and Magic. Had a great session last week with some massive revelations, if you can call them revelations, massive events, and almost meeting his untimely demise. As always, I need to say a huge thank you to BattleBards, Tabletop Audio, Ben Sounds for all our sound effects, ambience, and those sorts of things. A huge shout out also to D&D Beyond for just general game management, and Incarnate. If you're not using that for your mapping tools, highly recommend that. Other than that, usual warnings apply, adult humour, adult language. You have been warned. Let's go.
Matt drumming this time.
That was awesome. It's still awesome.
I love it.
Cool.
I don't think it'll ever get old, will it?
So,
Thanks for the little sign there. Somehow, I was the only one who saw it, but that made me laugh out loud.
Don't know what you're talking about.
No, didn't do anything.
Did you do a written sign?
Oh mate, I wish I'd set the screens up now. Oh Jesus. Oh, that was brilliant.
Good stuff. So, last we left off, Ander had a hell of a day. Right back to the beginning of the session, Kirik and Bothrid were just merrily getting drunk in a tavern. And Ander and Dargon decided to leave the Tabaxi camp and ventured into the lighthouse. Had to smash down the initial door. Found a strange scene, some bodies on the floor, and a few other bits, sort of broken chests, broken shelving units, that's the word I'm looking for. And also found a number of doors. Almost stumbled into an arrow trap in the centre of the first or second major room, and then still on the ground floor found a chest with a rather peculiar lock, which Ander did not think to check for traps on, and so ended up getting horrifically poisoned, to which it was then somewhat of a rescue mission to save Ander from this poison and get him healed. Took him back to the Tabaxi camp, where there was a herbalist and a healer and a holy person of sorts. They managed to stabilise Ander to a point. And Ander, while he was in this sort of state, almost a catatonic state, had a little heart-to-heart with the Blood Moon Blade, which ultimately ended up in Ander stabbing himself, albeit in his mind, through the heart and killing himself, which allowed the party to remove the curse. And then there was the touch and go moment of the resurrection, which luckily, thank you to Kirik's skills, the offering of prayer and compassion from Dargon, and the in fact Bothrid wasn't even there, so that was ultimately it. And then Ander also finally getting some help from the Dryad of the Summer Grove, which brings us back now to pretty much where we are. You headed back to the tavern, swindled the young boy who worked at the tavern in his sort of sleepy, drunken state, which you've now come to associate with him, with Billy, and managed to bed down for the night. And just before you bedded down, there was an axe buried in a wall somewhere, and then also Kirik performed some magic on Dargon's scimitar. And so we come to the next morning, and I'm going to come straight to Kirik. What are you doing now? Ander at this point is still sleeping. You've woken before him. The past day's events really taking their toll on his body, and him now sleeping it off.
How does he look? kind of...
Uncannily peaceful. Yeah, that sort of drawl just totally zonked.
Nice. In that case, I will make my way out of the room. I'll pick up the scimitar and make my way downstairs, really. I'll start ordering some breakfast for everyone.
Cool. And as you go downstairs, there's the... Billy is not there. However, the tavern owner, the lady, who you still haven't found out the name of yet, is there, just sort of busy watching a few pots, getting set up for the morning and for the day's trade. There's no other patrons downstairs at this point.
I will make my way to the bar, and I will say good morning.
Good morning.
I don't believe we've had the honor of meeting each other. My name is Kirik Gravetusk. Obviously, I'm staying in one of the rooms.
We've met before, but this is the first time I've had your name. And I've totally forgotten what I was going to name. Bear with. Back to my DM's notes.
Quick note, wasn't it like really early morning when we got back to the tavern? So is that going to mean that...
Bearing in mind, Kirik had already rested significantly.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that Andrew and Dargon are going to be up late morning. But obviously, yeah, Kirik, you've already had your long rest, so we're a bit out of sorts, aren't we?
Yeah.
Cool. Just double checking that.
Be early night for you tonight, Kirik.
Back to all my notes.
Barbara.
Where did I put her? It wasn't.
Babs.
It was some random name. Yeah, it was Hilma. There we go. So she... Back in the room. Very nice to finally understand your name, Kirik. I'm Hilma, and this is my tavern in Cherry Blossom Inn. I understand Billy saw you to your rooms again last night.
Yes, he did. He was already here, but we've been on quite a travel, so we felt quite tired, and we just went up.
I trust you still plan on paying then?
Of course, yes. How much are the rooms altogether? I believe we took 3.
It's 5 gold per room per night, as per usual. So, 15.
Do you require the payment now or when we leave for good?
As long as I get it, it will be fine.
Of course, don't worry.
Fair warning though, those who do not pay and leave my tavern don't tend to fall upon the best fortunes in future.
That won't be us.
Very well. So, breakfast?
Yes, please. Feel free to bring breakfast for 4 of us, and we will just pick it up on one of the tables. I'll go sit there.
Okay, very well. And she sort of disappears behind the bar into the kitchen. You hear the clattering of just pots and sort of cupboards being opened. It sounds like the chopping of something. And yeah, she brings it out to you. You find yourself sat there for quite some time. Probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 even. As you eat. Not to let the food go to waste. Yeah, is there anything else you would like to do in that 2-hour period?
Yes, I will take out a piece of parchment, and I will start writing notes on the sword that Ander had. knowledge that we've acquired as a group, and obviously I will detail the fact that Anda passed on to the other side, probably due to it, I would assume.
Okay.
So I'll just write kind of detailed explanation.
You do spend sort of the 2 hours making copious notes of what you've seen, how it's progressed over time ever since you found the blade, and the properties it exhibited, the way it changed his nature. And as you're writing, Bothrid eventually makes his way down and sort of sit down next to you. Hello.
Hello, Bothrid. How are you?
Good. You well?
I'm very good. Yes. Did you sleep okay?
How Anda?
Anda was all right when I left him. It seems that the occurrences of yesterday are still weighing on him, so I just let him sleep in. Dagon, I don't know. He must be tired. I don't think he got much rest.
No, guess not. Anda good. That is good. More breakfast?
Yes. Well, I've got some of it for you, so feel free to get some. I didn't get you any drinks, unfortunately, but I'm sure we can sort that out.
And almost as if by magic, as you say that, the Hilda comes over, or Hilda. Been watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch too much. Hilma comes over with a mug of ale, which Bothrid just sort of chucks down, slams down onto the table, grabs like a turkey leg, just tears into it, showing the somewhat feral nature of hobgoblins, which we've not seen in some time.
Bothrid, could I ask you...
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Bothrid, could I ask you a question? Would you be able to... I've seen you do it sometimes. You create some flowers every once in a while. I was wondering if you would be able to perhaps create some fairly long stem. I would want, probably. Just a couple. We only need a couple.
No. Color?
I'll let you choose.
Okay. And he sort of bites off the turkey leg as I punch myself in the air, throws it down, and then just sort of takes his hands and holds them up just above the table, closes his eyes, and you can hear him muttering under his breath. And one long-stemmed, almost like a rose, appears, thorns and all. One red, and a second one appears, this one white. And then the third one appears, this one sort of a pinkish colour. And then he opens his eyes, looking pretty satisfied, and then sort of grabs them. Weapon. There you go.
Thank you. Now I'll pick them up and I will kind of put them in my... I'll put them in my bag.
What need for?
Just want to decorate my bag a little bit. I'll start kind of putting them around my bag.
Okay. Picks up turkey leg, starts tearing into it again. And at this point you begin to stir. And you have been in a almost death-like sleep after the previous days' events. Your body, your mind, everything having gone through a emotional and physical roller coaster. And as you wake, there is just the faintest whisper. I am here. And your eyes open. Kirik is no longer in the room. You see your gear around you.
Do I recognise that voice as the spirit?
You do.
Okay. Also, as I pegged it last weekend, all of my attuned items, I've been reading about attunement. As I died, I have to reattune to all of my items again. All three, so that's my Cloak of Darkness, my Gauntlets of Ogre Power, and my Flame Tongue Rapier. So that means on this episode, I will have a shit armor class, and I won't be able to go invisible, and I will have a good armor class because I've still got my armor, actually, but I won't be very strong, and I won't be invisible. So let's see how that goes.
So as a favour from the DM, would you like to spend some time attuning to these items this morning?
Well, it's going to take a short rest, so should I just choose one?
It doesn't necessarily take a short rest, it could be part of your long rest.
Alright. Go on then. I'll do that.
Okay.
We'll say off camera I woke up as Kirik left the room and I spent the morning reacquainting myself with my...
You woke up earlier, actually slightly disturbed as Kirik gently closed the door. And it sort of takes you an hour to do each item, to understand it again, to attune to the item again. So you spend that first sort of 2 hours reacquainting yourself with the Flame Tongue Rapier. And it is this point, if you wish, you may change your activation word for it, as you are reattuning.
Ooh. Oh, I might have to Google a cool word. Because, yeah, if you know, the one we get famous, I can't have Dracarys because that's copyright infringement, isn't it? So I can't have Flame On from Fantastic Four. So, you've put me on a spot now.
That's fine. You have a think. You
I'll
also
have a think.
reacquaint yourself with the gauntlets, and as you then finally place them on, you feel that surge of strength through you. As your strength number goes up and you feel stronger. And the third item was your armour?
No, so my armour's okay.
Cloak.
It was my cloak, the yoga gauntlets, and my Flame Tongue Rapier, yeah.
So you then finally study the black material. And actually you find that this one takes you less time, not the full hour. You look at it, the black sort of almost dancing in the darkness dancing over your hands, and you swing it over your shoulders, and you just feel a settling of sorts around your body, just almost like the air settling, and you feel complete again, almost as if something was missing from before. And this is probably now 3 hours now since Kirik first got up. Probably an hour since Bothrid arose. What are you doing now? You're welcome, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, that was good. Otherwise, I'd have probably died again this week. I will. Feeling loads better, and I've still got my exhaustion point, so I do need to eat and drink to get rid of that. So I am absolutely fucking starving. So I'm going to go downstairs and meet the guys for breakfast. But because I'm so happy to be myself again, I will be playing a little happy tune on my pan flute, actually, because I've not felt like this in a while. Please. Of course. Here we go. Watch me fuck it up now. 7. It's been a while.
You take out your pan flute, and actually, you start to feel that time again where you've sort of neglected it somewhat. You've neglected your study of the pan flute, and you're just a little bit rusty. A tune comes out, but there's quite a few bum notes. And Bothrid's downstairs. As you're coming downstairs, Bothrid's ears pick up. Almost music.
That doesn't sound great. And
as you sort of come down the stairs, you're greeted with Bothrid and Kirik, the only patrons in the tavern, sat a couple of mugs of ale or whatever they're drinking in front of them, various bits of food. Looks like Bothrid's probably on his third turkey leg at this point, just tearing into it. And that smell of food hits your nose, and it just smells amazing. Like the best thing you've smelled in a very long time.
Is there anything left, or do I need to get Hilma as Bothrid took it all down? Or is there any food?
Plenty of food left.
So I will rush up to the table. Excuse my ignorance, gentlemen, and I'll just dive straight in. Join Bothrid in a feral, munching like a caveman sort of vibe.
Bothrid sees this and thinks it's sort of like a fun thing, and he starts picking up food, just tearing into it.
Kirik's just
loving life,
slowly drinking.
It's like,
don't judge me! As I'm shoving like fucking things in my face.
No judgment
If
here.
it's ruckus downstairs, it sort of disturbs Dargon in his deep Goliath.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the pan flute that woke him up initially. Just rolls over like that.
Dargon, what are you doing this late morning?
Yeah. So, is there a window in the in the room?
Yeah, we'll say there's a window, which is slightly ajar, letting fresh air in.
So, roll over. Oh God, didn't miss that thing. God. Yeah, gets up, still feeling just as exhausted. Well, not just as exhausted, but does still have that point of exhaustion from staying up. Rolls over, sees the slightly open window and the sun coming in. Puts his hand up so that he can then see the sun shining on his hand, the warmth. Oh yeah. Gonna be a good day. Gets up, collects all the stuff, feeling very hungry, so shuffles down. Does for a minute think, crap, where's oh crap! Where's my sword? Oh no! I know. I gave it to Kirik, didn't I? All right. Walks downstairs. Morning all.
And the sight before you is quite strange. You see Ander and Bothrid literally just tearing into the food like ravenous wolves. Bothrid's got this huge grin on his face as if it's almost a game. But Andrew is literally like, if he could shove any more into his mouth, he would. Literally like.
This is a sight, boys. Shuffle up. You looks like you can't all eat that. I'll give you a hand. Sits down.
And at this point, Hilma, sort of having seen the strange sight, brings out another couple of plates of food and just sort of places them down. And steps back.
What do we do? Morning.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy, gentlemen.
And then, with a mouth full of food, I'm like, my darling, please, may I have some coffee?
Make that another, please.
Well,
A big one if you got enough. Very kind.
I'm sure I can find something for you. And she goes back and sort of fills just a general flagon full of coffee. And then brings out a jug full of coffee. This huge, great pewter type jug. Places that in front of you. Is that big enough for you?
Oh, very kind, thank you.
And then she places the flagon down in front of Ander. There you go.
That's very kind.
Thank you, my dear.
All this breakfast must have come to a pretty penny. How much do we owe you?
Well, with the price for the rooms you still owe.
Oh yeah,
call this.
My apologies. I did play a little bit of a trick on your son. Fully intended to pay, but he was so sleepy he didn't really know what was up or down. Anyway, for the rooms, the trouble, and the breakfast, I'm sure that I'm sure that this 30 gold will suffice.
You're well more than.
And I look
more
up
than
as he
kind.
says, I'm
Thank
like,
you very much.
fucking hell, what's he doing? 30 gold.
Out.
Ander comes back to himself in an instant. Cool. So she takes the 30 gold, sort of bows. I will leave you to it then, gentlemen. Please let me know if I can
Thank you.
be of any more assistance.
Thank kindly. Well, Ander, you look a lot better today.
And then, I suppose, with that engagement, I kind of get a bit serious for a moment, and I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me, for sticking with me through what must have been a tough time for you, and for bringing me back. I just hope that you can forgive me for any deception or any harm that I caused whilst I was under the influence of that wretched blade. You must know
Of course,
that
I mean, it wasn't your fault entirely, so I'm sure there was some influence that the sword was playing on you. Remains to be seen what type, I suppose.
My only fear is that it brought out the side of me that I've been trying to change, but obviously that won't happen overnight.
That's why you've got friends, Ander. We'll keep you in line.
If you're trying to change, that's the most important. Whether you get there or not doesn't really matter.
Well, some of my ways are beneficial to the group, I would say. Morally, maybe not. But with that, who's up for investigating a lighthouse this morning?
Oh, God. You still on that?
We have to solve the mystery. There's dead elven guards. We don't know. They had a warrant for a buyer's arrest. We need to figure out who sent them, why they were there, what happened to a buyer, maybe what's in the chest. I was trying to brush over that. There's other flaws we need to...
Who's a buyer?
Oh, sorry, yes. A buyer was the leader of the Thieves Guild in this town, and his crew stole from Dargon when we first visited Seamead, so I negotiated the return of Dargon's items, and I suppose he is, I wouldn't say an ally of mine, but we have an accord, both being from a similar shady background. But the warrant was for his arrest for murder and all sorts of behaviour, so I think we need to figure out what's happened.
You say he was the leader of the Thieves Guild here. Is Thieves Guild everywhere? How is he like the leader here? How's it work?
Yes. So I suppose you could call it a faction for this town, and I suppose from my past I would know, I can sense and I can determine who my contacts would be in this town, and you can sort of see them a mile off, as it were. The little children scurrying around or shady looking characters. I kind of get the vibe and I know when they're about. So, and they will always lend me a friendly ear. So if we come across any more wayward towns, I think we could negotiate some friendly terms.
Cool. Kirit, roll me a history check, please.
Uh, 10.
Okay, good to know. What are we doing?
Well, if this is important to you, then I think we could go all together, and we'll have a better chance of learning what's happened. I mean, I suppose we could.
Yes.
I kind of look around to make sure that no one's listening. We can ask the elves what happened.
Please.
Wow, that is a natural 1, so a 6.
You look around Not that you wouldn't notice anyone anyway. You'd just sort of it's almost like a cursory glance or a token glance, just to make sure nobody's not listening. You haven't really checked, and as far as you can tell, nobody is listening.
Can always ask the elves what happened.
Yeah, but they're dead.
That doesn't stop questions from occurring.
I thought I was shady. Well,
I can reach out.
Your trick be a surprise.
Reach out to them.
All right, now.
Speaking of surprises, I have a present for you, Kirik. And then I reach into my bag of holding and I pull out the, not the lock picking for dummies book, but the other books that I took off the shelf. You know, the history books and the other books, and I'll present them to you. I thought you could add to your scrolls or your collection. Not much of a reader myself.
Certainly interesting. Thank you very much. What were the books, Matt? Sorry.
So there was a history of Nyelin, a couple of sort of books on the history of Nyelin. There is one book titled Enoeth and its Mysteries. Enoeth. And then the other books that Ander presents are just sort of some basic books. There's one that looks like it may be to do with cooking. Another one that looks like it may have been an alchemical journal of sorts. Looks like that may have been stolen from somebody. There is a... Just looking down my list. There is a... What looks like it may have once been a spell book, but all of the pages have been torn out, bar one.
Do I recognize what's written in there?
Roll me an Arcana check, please.
That's not bad. That's 20.
So you don't understand the language it is written in. However, the symbol, the spell circle that is there, is quite familiar. And it is a circle used for planar travel.
Okay.
The final book that Ander hands over, you can't read the text. It is in a language you are not familiar with. However, there is well, not really a symbol, but an icon, graphic, whatever you want to call it, of almost like a bear paw on the front.
Did you say one of them was a chemist's book?
An alchemical journal, yeah.
Journal, yeah.
Okay.
I'll just say thank you, and I will have a look at these once we are traveling, once we have the time. For now, I have a couple of things I need to just get sorted. Firstly, Ander, you'll notice that you have a ring on your hand. That is for you, and I'll take out another one and I'll pass it to Dargon. And I'll say, if you keep these on you, I will be able to cast a spell that will absorb some of the damage that you take. And I'll look at Bothri and say, it seems that you do quite well on that department anyway.
We have own magic, not need sparkly ring.
Kirik,
Thought as much.
That's very gracious, that is. Yeah, you say we don't get it. It doesn't bastard you or anything, does it? This just protects me, does it?
Yes.
Oh. That's very kind. Thank you very much.
I think I will need this more than I care to admit.
Aye.
That's why it's there.
Sooner rather than later, by probable chance.
Dagon, I have your scimitar that I took yesterday.
Ah, yes.
I'll pop it on the table, and I'll say I did a little something to it. I hope you don't mind.
What?
You seem to
Looks all right.
just don't get scared when you take it out of the sheath.
Take it out of the sheath, Dagon.
Never really been scared of a sword, but thanks. I grab the sheath. Because, you got the sheath around, haven't you? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. You, go get what you want from it.
Yes, of course. It's just a little something to get you going for now.
Cool. Ah, very kind. I keep it in the sheath.
Do it now, Dagon. Take it out of the sheath.
Scimitar out of the shield.
Andy, were you saying that?
Yeah.
So, what have you done with it then, Kerry? And I slide it half out the sheath.
As you slide the scimitar half out the sheath, there is just this huge, great glare of fire as you pull it out, and the blade itself is on fire. You also see just above the hilt a red, glowing symbol, very similar, if not exact, to that is branded onto your chest.
There is definitely a bang as Dagon's knees hit the bottom of the table, like a. Oh, bloody hell! That's pretty sweet. Is it? Does that hurt more?
Unfortunately, it does not. It's merely it will emanate light, much like Dawnbringer, but unfortunately, I can't give it any of its magical properties.
Oh man,
So it's not as good as mine then, and then I pull out mine, and if I'm saying it right, the Elvish for flame is Nair. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Nerds of the group. I googled it. So I say Nair, and mine lights on fire. And I hold it above my head like He-Man.
Kirik, I'm quite touched with that. I don't know if Miss Dawnbringer, but this is a fantastic thing. Thank you. I've definitely missed having some light as we've been going, and I'm sure it's going to intimidate a couple of people and all. Very kind indeed.
Nothing else.
Didn't know you could do this. This is amazing.
It's quite a. It's a niche property.
Well, you're looking after us quite a lot here. I feel bad. But I am very gracious nonetheless.
I'm sure you'll have my back when I need it.
Oh, your back, your front, your sides, and everything. You know me in a fight.
So I believe that Elvish word is pronounced Nah.
Nah, I'll go for that. That's my new word. And then I'll sheath it, because I'm assuming Hilma's just shit her pants.
There's two fucking flaming swords on the table.
Devin, it's going to burn down.
As you do this, and she just sort of, you actually turn to look at her, and she's looking up. She just goes back to cleaning out one of the flagons.
And I'm immediately emasculated. Thanks, Hilma.
Okay, if we're going to do this bloody insane thing and we're going to go to the lighthouse, can I suggest something? And that is we don't actually touch anything until we've explored. And
yes.
I'm looking straight at Ander at this point.
So does that mean the chest is the last thing I can touch?
Be the last thing. We want to check everything else. There's probably going to be a lot of other traps, so we need to move very carefully, looking as many places and things we can. Have we got anything to disarm a trap?
This guy. I have the tools and the know-how, he says, hoping to disarm any traps you
Bothrid
may
nudges
find.
you. Not go so well last time.
I
Well
must
said.
admit, finding traps is not within my repertoire, but disarming traps, I'm your man.
Well, I'm going to keep a good eye peeled for him. We'll see what happens, especially with a flaming sword. Hopefully, I can see him a little better.
Don't forget your magic ring.
Oh yeah. So,
Do you remember Captain Planet when they had the magic rings? And it was like the power of recycling or some shit like that.
the lighthouse.
Nostalgia.
I had a Captain Planet toy that changed colour underwater. There we go. One for the kids.
Captain Planet still? Is it on Netflix? Captain Planet? It's on something.
I'm surprised you haven't rebooted it with Chris Hemsworth yet.
Probably that'll be the next thing. We love you, Thor.
Oh yeah.
Other characters are available.
Indeed.
Now it's all about the boys on Amazon Prime at the minute.
The lighthouse.
Still haven't watched
Do
it.
we know it's still, apart from the fact that it's gone dark, it's otherwise a perfectly working, undamaged lighthouse from our ears, apart from a smashed-in door.
The last time you were here, the lighthouse was lit.
Yes.
When you've come back, there is no light in the lighthouse, and you were told that it has not been lit for some time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But it's not like a crumbling mess or anything. You know, it is. The building itself looks
not
perfect.
It's not in a state of good repair. It's not brand new. It's not been particularly well maintained. There are bits that are crumbling, but it was like that before. It's not changed drastically since.
And is it sort of your typical S-ish lighthouse that it has some sort of balcony at the top of it and so on?
It's very phallic in nature, with a bit on the top.
Yeah, cool. Well,
All of us refraining from the Shaft's jokes. Apart from, obviously, Kirik, who's an upstanding member of the community.
well, I'm feeling a lot better after a bit of bit of food and drink. So, do we need to get anything, or we all happy to go?
No time like the present. I'm ready to get stuck in.
All right, I am going to make one stop. It's not a shot or anything else like that. I just want to walk down to the harbour or next to the sea, and so happy to do that, and then meet you at the front of the lighthouse, or you can come with. I'm only grabbing a few bits. I've had an idea.
Oh, you've intrigued my curiosity. I shall accompany you, Dagon.
It's probably a rubbish idea, but you know, gotta think of them while they come along.
I will accompany you as well.
All right then.
So Bothrid grabs the last couple of turkey legs, starts biting one, shoves a couple in his bag, and you all exit the tavern. This time, not going sort of immediately north, but heading to the east, following sort of the gravelish path into almost up to where the market is, but then turning off, walking past the well at the centre of the town, and then making your way down to the docks. As you approach the docks, there are two ships, two that Dargon and Ander would recognise having been there before. However, the familiar sails and the familiar ship of the Winter's Tale is not there.
Damn.
So I thought I'd come to the sea, to the front, just for two reasons. One, if you've got traps like we're in the room, not the chest itself, but stuff like that, maybe we can disarm the traps and with a couple of stones or pebbles. So I thought we might grab some next to the sea edge. It's definitely your game, but we need a few bits. And the other one was, I've got a chimera's head in my bag that's going off, and I want to wash it out, so I've only got a skull, because it bloody stinks. So I'm going to do that while you guys maybe look for a couple of stones that might help us out. How's that for a deal?
Yeah, I'm on board with that. It's not a bad shout.
You're the trap disarmer, but I thought we might need a few bits. Anyway,
At the very least, it'll help us create a decoy or distract someone if we need to. It's always good. Always
I'm going to stand upwind because I don't think this is going to smell particularly ripe. So I am planning on taking the chimera head out and washing it in the sea. Chimera dragon head to try and get a skull, because the rest of it is presumably just horrible now.
And I'll be dry heaving whilst picking up some stones.
The bag of holding and pull it out. One of the eyes is totally putrid and just turned to like mush and slime and this sort of white milky fluid. The scales on one side are hanging off, and you can just see this black mess of what was once flesh just sort of hanging off and sticking to the white bone underneath. And you take it down to say, and it does smell god awful. Danny, if you think back to when we did the pigs, which sounds sinister, when we studied pigs on our forensic science course that were dead and had been dead for a while.
We're not David Cameron. We didn't do pigs. Foreign listeners, Google it.
Yeah, indeed. Oh dear, we've gone political. So Dargon takes this stinking, putrid, rotting skull and just sort of holds it in the sea, and each time a wave laps across it, more gore is just taken away. And Dargon does have to you do have to get your hands dirty a little bit, and you sort of pull it off the flesh, but it does start coming off quite easy. And you're eventually left with a near pristine chimera's dragon's head.
Cool.
Still got his teeth.
Yep.
Still the horns.
Yep.
You place that back in the bag of holding, I'm assuming.
I do indeed. You
Bothrid at this point has run off and is like picking up huge rocks. Oh.
Little bit small, Bothrid.
Little bit big.
Bothrid.
Splash.
Kadoosh.
Oh.
Yeah. Loot. That's better. So, with the idea that Ander then gave, Dargon's going to pick up a couple as occasional decoys. So he's going to find... DM, how many he's going to find?
Roll me a d6.
Off the top of your head.
6.
6, there you go, you find 6 pebbles.
There we go.
6 stones that you can use.
Nice.
Right then. You're all ready to go. Should we give this a whirl?
Lead the way.
It's your venture, Ander. After you.
Yeah, but you better at finding traps, aren't you?
Well, there better not be any traps between here and
fucked off up the dock, and is just almost sort of like swaying as he walks, happy that the group is back together. And he points at the lighthouse as you get halfway with a big grin on his face, and you can now see the barricade that he made.
Well, he's barricaded the whole front door up.
There is half a market stall in front of this door.
Oh, yes.
This is what you get when you need the hobgoblin to barricade the door.
Of course.
I mean, Bothrid, bloody well done, but I have to say, where'd you get that?
Exactly.
You pay man later.
Well, looks like we don't have a bloody choice. Oh well.
No one get in.
I can't fault you on that one.
So is it like fixed to the lighthouse, or is it just a big pile of stuff we need to move away?
It's a big pile of stuff you'll need to move away, but Bothrid's also jammed some stuff like in the door frame to make it really difficult and just deter anyone from even trying to get there.
Well, okay.
Bothrid, could you just turn into some form of big animal and just run through it?
Well, hang on. Hang on.
Perhaps we don't want to scare the people around us.
Yeah, look, we also may be able to give some of this back. I have a weird plan.
As long as it's quick.
Well, yeah. So...
Was Bothrid going to do it?
I cast...
He was going to do it, no, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
I cast Levitate on myself.
And yourself?
Okay.
And I'm going to do it
So you
at the bottom, so, in a way that if I go straight up, I'm hopefully going to get whatever sort of handrail or balcony or whatever's above it, bearing in mind that I can move...
Oh, I see what you're doing.
20 foot every round, up or down. And I can do it for 10 minutes. And so I will see if I can get up there to see what there is, to see if there's a way down into it.
You've never used levitate before, haven't you?
No.
You haven't used it yet, have you? So my character wouldn't have.
So
we're going to freak out, aren't we? Because we've never seen this before.
But you see Dargon, and as this is the first time you've cast it, you sort of stand a bit, and then you just look, and shakily sort of, and eventually slowly rise up. And there are
you doing this on purpose?
From inside the village. As now this Goliath is just gently floating further and further. And it takes you probably
What are you doing?
minute.
I'm having a look, see if there's a way down. I can always cast a rope down.
As you get up to the balcony, and as I say, it takes you probably around a minute and a half to shakily float your way up there.
Hey lads, bloody good view from here.
You can see the fire pit in the centre of this. Looks almost like it once was glass, and there is still glass there, but it's misted in places, and some of it actually gives off an impression that it's not quite glass. There may be something different there, but encased in this is this fire pit, long burnt out, bellows still there. You see a trapdoor to one side, sort of furthest away from you. You see a small pile of gemstones and 5 chests lined up around the edge.
Do I say that I safely get up and over onto the balcony or whatever, and I can release the spell?
As you float towards the glass, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Wicked.
You're renowned for your dexterity.
Me? No.
You have Featherfall.
I automatically have Featherfall on it if it breaks, but 5.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
You immediately take 11 points of lightning damage as you touch the glass, and this shock goes through you. I need you to make me a concentration check, because I think levitate is a concentration spell.
It is indeed.
How do you do a concentration check?
I can't remember what it's plus.
Throw.
Is that what it is?
It's just
a constitution
it's a constitution. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Natural 1.
Natural 1?
Yeah.
You
Fucking hell,
immediately lose concentration
However,
and
if the spell fades, you float gently down to the ground.
Oh,
see the rest of you see
I know that.
this bolt of lightning sort of pass through Dargon, and his eyes sort of float, and then you see his body, and then just slowly drift down and touch the floor.
I was expecting like a comet just to to the floor, kill all the dinosaurs.
Massive crater on the floor. I immediately run towards.
So has he landed at the top of the lighthouse or back to where he started?
No, back to where he started.
He is down on the floor.
So there wasn't any balcony, it was just glass at the front then?
There was a balcony,
Yeah.
but in order for you to land, you needed to touch the glass. It's very thin.
Fine, yeah,
Around the outside.
That's fine. So, well, found a trap, boys. Ow. Had it.
What else did you see while he was up there?
Well, there was a trap door, and there was a fire pit.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, Andy? What are you looking at me for? What? All right. Yeah, there was a few bits of loot up there and all. Looks like they've... Yeah. Your spidey sense was tingling then, wasn't it?
It was. I had a feeling.
You could smell it on me, couldn't you? How do you do that? How do you do that? I don't know.
I'm
all
giddy.
Right. Okay, so... I mean, I could... I don't want to try that again, but that was something. So... What now?
So
Bothrid and I clear this stall away from the door.
I do have climbing equipment, but is there some way to climb onto, or is the whole floor trapped? Because all I see was just this big bolt of energy hit you. Is
Kirik,
there a safe place to climb to?
Kirik, would you be able to do something with whatever's up there? I mean, it was definitely some... Well, I say definitely, I don't know, some sort of protection. Or even under. Can you get rid of that?
How far up is this? How far up is the top?
So the lighthouse itself is probably a good 30-40 feet in height. It's fairly tall. Doesn't need to be massive.
I
say this is where my imperial measurements do not work well. It's about sort of 3 stories high, if you want to put it that way. 3 floors high.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can lift other people up there if you're willing.
Should we just start at the bottom and work our way up?
All right then.
I'm worried that
Bothrid,
knowing the type of man that a buyer may be, I worry that he would keep the good stuff at the top. So it's progressively going to get harder the higher we go, maybe. So I think it may be safer to enter at the bottom. Although I nearly died, obviously at the bottom, I fear it gets even worse the higher we go.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to avoid everything else, but yeah, I see your point. Maybe we look for the rest and follow the original plan. Look before touching. So
I guess some more information whilst we're exploring from the inside.
Sounds good. All right, Bothrid, you put this lot up here. Give us a hand. Tell us how to get it all back out. Is that all right?
Oh, okay.
You did a good job,
Bothrid
mate.
literally just walks forward and starts pulling and just tugging and tugging and tugging and tugging.
I'll do the same.
D&D Beyond, which comes with its own dice roller.
While they're doing this, I want to kind of grab onto my holy symbol and I will ritual cast detect poison and disease.
Always a good idea.
19.
Keep that up for 10 minutes.
19. So Bothrid is sort of tugging, not getting anywhere. You sort of come across and just... And as you pull the market stall, it just collapses. And you hear this voice, "Hey! He told me I could have that back!"
My bad. We'll pay you extra.
Bothrid just sort of slinks off to the side at this point.
Can I see who said that and so on? Is there anyone around?
Yeah, as you look back, there's just sort of this middle-aged gentleman, relatively short. He's got sort of like the monk hairdo. And it's all party around the sides and nothing on top. Wearing just simple clothes and sort of shouting, shaking his fist.
Right. So I'll have spoken to him and sort of spoken his way. I'll turn back to the group. All right. Don't go in there until I come back. And also, there better be some gold in here, because we're pissing it away at the moment. All right.
You're the one who paid 30 gold for breakfast.
All right. I was hungry. Walk over. Yeah, my apologies, and we just wanted to make sure that no one got hurt. There's a lot of bad things in that lighthouse. How much?
That old goblin said you were paying. I want my gold now.
Yeah, how much was it?
To rebuild that, a lot of work went into that. No, man, not like these other market stalls. This one stood strong. 50 years I've been here. 50 years.
That's lovely. How much?
20 gold.
Really?
Make me a perception check, please. Or an insight check.
I was going to go for insight, but actually... Can I do perception? I suppose it's insight on this one, isn't it?
It's more of an insight check.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Ooh, cool though. 19.
Yeah, he's just plucked a number out of thin air, and you can quite clearly tell.
Would Dargon know how much something like this would be in raw materials and it being remade?
Make me an straight intelligence check.
Another 19.
Yeah, wood itself is not hard to come by. Cloth materials, you've seen that cloth is being sold. For this type of thing, you're probably looking 10 gold maximum, even that's quite at the expensive end of the spectrum.
Cool. I will get out 10 gold. I'll hand it over. I'm very gracious of the fact that you lent the supplies to allow that the village didn't get hurt or any of the villagers. But if you try and palm me off with that
choice.
That's right, you didn't. Anyway, this will allow you to get your stall back up and running as quickly as possible. I suggest you take it with our thanks.
Make me an intimidation check, please.
Ooh, fuck, a 10. I've got a +4 as well.
He looks. Snatches the gold out of your hand. When you fuckers come to my stall, I'm charging you double. And he walks off.
What stall? That's right. Cheers.
Dargon.
I'll walk back. What a charming fellow he was. Well done, Bothrid. You picked the right one to swindle. Come on, let's go in. Clap him on the back.
He's just like falling about laughing at this point.
I look at Bothrid with a little bit of pride, to be honest.
Oh, Kirik, what have you got yourself into with us lot, eh? Right. Do you think you can keep us alive in here?
I'll do my best.
Need animal? Be better.
Not yet, I don't think, Bothrid.
What kind of... Yeah, never mind.
I was thinking we might need... Can you turn into mice or small creatures to fit under doors through tiny gaps? I think that's what we might need you for later. No spiders.
Rat?
Yeah, I'm okay with rats. I grew up with rats.
Okay.
Oh, ladies first, Ender.
Okay, is it... So last time we went in, the only light that came in was through the door that we came in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, and we know what's to the left, because that's where I nearly died. So, the rest of the room, there was another door, wasn't there? If I remember rightly.
Do believe there's also a body in the first room.
So as you enter the room, immediately in front of you is a circular staircase, which is in the dead centre of the lighthouse.
Yeah.
To the left of that is a wall reaching out to the sort of circular walls on the outside. There is a door there, which is totally obliterated, which you've knocked down already.
Yeah.
Just in front of that door is a corpse. And then there are the
Searched
shelves.
him and got some stuff off him, didn't I?
Yeah, and you retrieve the books off those shelves. There is also the smashed glass from the wall sconce. Through the door is sort of the half room, and I say half room because it takes up half of the sort of the back half of the lighthouse. That's where the second body is. The broken chest, the broken chair, and the other door, which is also now totally smashed. But in the middle of that room, you remember there is the pressure plate.
Yeah.
The chest that almost killed you lies in that final segment room.
And where did you get the bounty from? Which body had it?
The first guy next to the bookcase, just before we go into that corridor with the traps.
Technically not true, it's the second one.
Oh, fuck.
Because that's how
The
you set
first
off
guy
the
had
trap.
the warrant, did he? Did the first guy have the warrant?
The second... Oh, so you've only found a warrant. You've not found any bounties or anything. You found...
Oh,
Found
sorry.
a coin purse,
I meant
didn't I?
Coin purse.
I meant warrant. I meant warrant. Sorry.
Yeah, so you found the coin purse on the first body. The second body, which is how you set off the trap, had the warrant on it.
Yes. So I'll pretend that... Yeah, so the second body around the corner near the booby trap is where I found the warrant for a buyer's arrest.
Very well. I think if we ask some questions first, perhaps we can obtain a little bit more information on what they're doing here, or were doing here.
So I won't know you nearly set off the trap last time, will I? So be careful. There is a pressure plate on the floor that sets off a trap. Look out for the pressure
Thank
plate
you.
on the floor near the body.
Thank you. That's useful.
This questioning you do, Kirik, mind if I watch? Never seen this before.
Feel free to watch for sure. I think if they were here to arrest this individual who is a thief, member of the Thieves Guild, no offense, Ender, but I think we should make it so that they don't see you. That might set off
Understood.
information. I have 5 questions that I can ask the corpse. So I think we could set up.
Are they likely to get violent? We've obviously had quite a lot of undead want to do us some harm.
I am not bringing them back. I'm simply bringing their soul enough that they can answer some questions, but their bodies will not be able to move.
Oh, all right, cool. Well,
they may, however, try to deceive if they see someone as being hostile. That's why I think Anders should stay out of their line of sight.
That's a good idea. Yeah. What questions do you want to ask him?
I suppose what happened is quite a good place to start.
Oh yeah, that's actually quite a good one.
Who sent them?
Yeah.
Do we need to know who killed them, or would that be... How literal do they take the questions? Because by asking them what happened, they could give us all the information we need, or they could just give us very minimal information.
It's true. So I think we need
Is it
to...
like playing 20 questions?
I think we need to make ourselves seem friendly to them. They're more likely... I find that they're usually more likely to reply if they see us as friendly somewhat.
Can I can't remember if Dargon knows what... oh no, we did take the helmet off off the second one, didn't we? So that we know that they are Elven. I believe.
Yep.
And this may help you garner their friendly favour, and then I tell them how to say "greetings, friend" in Elvish.
Nice.
That's cool.
There's a good pull. I suppose we could ask them if they managed to capture the buyer, or if they know if they escaped.
What happens if they only speak Elvish and you need a translator?
I suppose you can do that.
But if they see me, they may think I am part of a buyer's gang.
The bodies can't move, so we can just place the head in the place that you're out of the line of sight. So.
Okay.
Which one we asking? The first or second?
I think it's best if we ask the one that had the warrant, because that is probably going to be the highest ranking one.
All right. Well, we need to be careful of this trap. Does Dargon remember if standing on the trap in the floor caused it to go off?
Mm-hmm.
Was it that if he put his foot on it but leant back, he would be less likely to have been hit? Or was it more of a...
If any part of your body is still on that, as the arrows come up, you're getting hit.
Alright. Can I see anything heavy around here?
You can see plenty of things that are heavy. You can see the broken shelf, you can see the body, you can see
something that I might think that I might be able to...
that have fallen.
Yeah, something that I might be able to put onto that pressure plate. I might be able to push with my foot onto it.
The body, it's the first body would do the job. The shelf itself would do the job. The chair from the other room. There's plenty of objects in here that you could weigh down the pressure plate with.
Well,
I'm going to say before we do that, though, we have a short bathroom break.
Sounds good.
Good. I need a piss and all, actually. Good shout.
Okay. So we got our questions now that we're going to ask.
I think so. Has my detect poison and disease been kicking off at all whilst we are walking?
You've not seen anything. I should say at this point, Ander and Dargon, you notice that Kirik's eyes once again have bled to total blackness. For those of you who watch Supernatural, very much when a demon possesses a human, that sort of effect. Just total black eyes. So far, no. However, there is the faintest glimmer of something in that liquid that was spilled on the floor. But it is so diluted down that you can't really tell.
Okay, you say it's diluted. Okay. Cool.
Let me just look at your spell, detect poison and disease.
Is it enough for me?
So you can identify
Is it enough?
So I'm going to say for this, roll me a perception check with advantage.
Oh, lovely. 23.
23. So yeah, you quickly identify that there's most definitely a poison on the floor, or maybe multiple, but the one that you can pick up. You can't remember the name of it. For some reason, the name of it escapes you. But you then think back to the symptoms that Ander had, and you immediately recognise this is the same poison that affected Ander.
Guess we'll make our way to our second body and start asking some questions.
Cool.
So I remember it being
What
dark.
are you bringing for the pressure plate?
I'm gonna bring the. Yeah, I'll do the chair if the chair is going to be heavy enough. If that's sort of enough to do so. If you don't mind, guys, I'd like to at least know where this trap is. If not, sort of leave it in a state where it ain't gonna hurt us. Willing to give it a go.
I guess.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to try and set off the trap, but when I'm not in it, and so that it then, in Dargon's mind, won't go off again until we obviously move the object. So that's the plan. I'll also got my sword out in my other hand, just so that because it's dark in this other room, or darker. So
It is darker in this room.
Hey, Kerry, this sword's doing well.
Through the doorway.
Thanks. This is awesome. Just like I remember.
And you sort of reach forward with the chair, and you roughly remember where the pressure plate was before, and you then place the chair on the pressure plate, and you see the pressure plate sink. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw with advantage, please.
Sweet. It's a 13.
With advantage?
It was an 8 and a 12.
Well.
Yep. I'm going down. Fuck it.
You take 3 points of piercing damage as these bolts just
Twang into my hand.
yeah.
Anything else?
Does it keep going?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
I'm like showing at me and like, well, it set it off.
You also now
Are you okay?
with the chair.
Sorry, what?
I'll let you answer.
No, sorry, what did you say?
I asked it, are you okay?
Yeah, I've had worse mosquito bites, to be honest. I yank it out of my hand.
You now notice the chair itself has kept the pressure plate down. There are no more bolts flying across the room. Dargon, now that you've pulled the bolt out, the wound begins to drip.
Put my hand over it, like as in my other hand, just to sort of clamp it down, stop it bleeding.
Doesn't work.
Lads, I'm still bleeding. And that wasn't a very big. That wasn't a very big cut. I don't feel bad, but I can't stop it bleeding.
Sure. Bring it here, and I'll place my hand over yours, and I'll cast a first level Cure Wounds. Wow. 6 points of healing.
Do I get all of them?
You do.
Sweet.
And the wound itself closes up, and the bleeding stops.
Oh, thanks, Garrett. That was weird. I think it's safe to say that every trap in here is more than just your usual.
Does my detect anything on the bolt or the hand?
There is no poison or disease on either of those.
It lasts for 10 minutes, so I'll kind of let you know, kind of wait for you to let me know when it finishes. Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, that's looks like it's taken care of, so we should perhaps move.
Yeah, after you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and then I'll make my way. Any more traps I should know of?
Not that we found. Only the chest.
I'll have a look before I walk.
Make me a perception check, please.
What is wrong today? 9.
9.
Detect, or you can't detect any other traps.
Sure, seems safe. Just keep moving.
Hey guys, let's send the cleric in first.
Plan.
Your decision.
Great plan.
I'm happy with that. I'm down with that. I'm getting Vietnam flashbacks at the minute. I'm just hanging well back.
Nam flashbacks.
So, yeah. So, Kirik, you now approach the corpse, and you see the helmet has been discarded. The body itself is starting now to decompose. And you can see it almost looks like the armour is starting to bloat a little bit. The face, quite clearly elven, mouth sort of hung to the side, just hung agape. The eyes still open.
Right.
And it's not
Well,
looking like a state of shock, the eyes.
interesting. I look up. Do I see anything on the ceiling?
Maybe a perception check, please.
22.
Hey,
No.
finally a good one.
However,
Okay.
you look up, you look down at the body, you now see, piercing the armour, 4 bolts similar to those that have just struck Dargon's hand.
Shit. Okay. Okay. I will make my way closer to the body, paying attention where I put my feet.
Okay.
Especially as I start getting closer to the body, I'll kind of like be extra careful.
Yeah.
And then once I get there, I place myself kind of so that the body only sees kind of me and then the wall behind me, straight up. I will place. I believe it's a touch spell. I'm gonna say.
Ander, do you want to get behind me? Just in a place where you can listen to the replies.
Of course.
I give a look to my companions. I kind of touch the forehead of the corpse, and I say, "Make your way back. We have questions." And I'll cast Speak with Dead.
And as your magic disappears, sorry, I'm playing with white tag. As your magic disappears into the body, there is a moment of stillness, and then
I will then say...
The eyes now have something of an intelligence behind them, and the mouth is beginning to move.
I will then repeat the words that Ander said to us in Elvish, and then switch back to Common and say, "I'm sorry you can't rest yet. We were brought here on a mission. It seems that you arrived here first, and I need to ask some things before we can proceed. Who sent you?"
And the eyes flick up to your face, look at you. And this breathy whisper comes out, but you have no idea what this creature has just said. Ander, however, you hear a single word, which is Endril, which is said in Elvish.
I didn't even catch what you said then.
I'll do it again.
Endril.
Erendril. Erendril.
Endril.
I kind of lift my eyes to and then give him a nod.
Erendril sent him.
You can see the eyes of the elf trying to look around, but obviously it's got no control over its body. It's literally just the eyes and the mouth that are moving.
What happened here to your party?
And again, you don't understand the words that come out. Fell by traps.
Are you actually speaking in English, yeah?
Yeah.
Fell by traps, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fell by
Fell
traps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought you were going to say something.
Never
I
mind,
was
this is
saying
a
proper commit.
decomposed corpse. I don't
do really well.
enough for that.
I'd like
I can't
I just
understand Scottish people, mate, so I won't worry about it.
I just forgot that. I just remembered that I forgot to tell Ander and Dogon that the answers are cryptic as hell usually. Sure. Cool.
Fell by traps, I think he said.
Oh, I just thought he was exhaling. Bloody hell. Oh, no.
Did you?
That's him exhaling.
Did you capture a buyer?
Oh, how do I want to answer this one?
I didn't have to expect to do a crossword tonight.
So as you mention the name Abaya, the eyes sort of flash around a little bit, roll in the skull. And again, this sort of breathy barking. We lost Dargon.
Still here, carry on.
Right, okay, just making sure. Again, that sort of breathy. Missing.
And I relay that back to you in common.
Interesting. Who is Erandriel?
Lord and Master.
He says it's his lord and master?
How many of you were here?
Enough.
And with that, I kind of place my hand once again on the forehead, and I say, "You've been helpful. Now, rest." And I'll take my hand and dispel fates.
And the eyes go dim once again, and you just hear this.
I'll step up. I'll get up, look at the others, and I'll say, if anything, we have a new name, and we know that this place is riddled with traps.
More questions than answers, I fear.
It's usually the case.
Names are always helpful. So the other unlucky fella can't help us at all, can he?
I just wonder if we're going to get anything else out of him that we already don't have.
All right then. Let's well, what do you want to do?
Open the chest.
No.
Okay. The only way is up then. In the words of M people. If we could play this in the background without copyright infringement, that'd be good.
That's why I didn't even bother singing it. Just mimed it.
Yeah. I guess we're not going to get any more information here that we don't possess. So if we go up, we might have something else.
All right. Upwards it is then. Have we seen a staircase in one of the two rooms or anything?
Yeah, it's in the middle of the place.
Is it?
It's
the middle, isn't it? Yeah.
So we can go back the way we came.
4 of you go back out into sort of the first room and go up the stairs.
Indeed.
I don't have a death wish, but I'm gonna go first with my shield out, sword in hand, looking for all kind of traps in the walls and the floor, stuff like that.
Maybe a perception check.
I'm happy to stay somewhere in the middle.
A perception check. 5. Nice knowing you, lads.
Full of perception.
I rolled my natural 20 before the game. That was my
Do you
problem.
even realise there's stairs with the 5?
I should pretty
So
stone
Bothrid
this.
brings up the rear as the four of you now sort of make your way up the staircase, and it winds round, and you probably go about 10 feet up, and there is a platform out onto the next floor, the next landing. The stairs do continue up, however.
Is it dark apart from the light from a sword in here?
It is extremely dark apart from the light of the sword.
Okay.
And again, as you look out onto this floor, you can see the smashed glass of all sconces. The flames just sort of flickering in the reflection, or creating a reflection, sorry.
There's a lot more smashed glass up here, guys. Watch your step. I will gingerly and slowly move into the room, continuing to look for anything I can.
So as you look around, with a 5 you see no traps. You do, however, see that this room is almost a third of the circle of the lighthouse. So as you step off the platform and look around to your left, which is sort of looking towards the east, there is a single bed against the wall, or against where the walls intersect, sorry. And then on the other side of this third, there is an open door into the next room.
That makes a change.
Yeah, it's open door, guys. I will move enough into the room to ensure that everyone else can get up here.
Okay. Which room? Into that first room.
Into the first room, and I will not go through the door, but I will peer through to the next room.
I have a question. Is Bothrid the one at the back?
Yes.
Do I know if he has dark vision?
In your previous ventures with him, he has never shown any signs of not being able to see in the dark.
I'll carry on then.
Okay.
So obviously, all I'm going to see is the light of what Dargon's sword's given off, isn't it? Whereas my sword, I'm not sure if the light radius is larger than yours. 40 foot bright,
Same
40
type
foot
of-
dim.
It's the same
Same
flame.
thing, is it? Okay. So 40 foot should see most of the room though, shouldn't it?
Yeah. So you do. And again, the three of you see the same, or the four of you see the same thing. This open door, you can just about see the light go into another room. Bed against the other wall, stairs behind you which continue up. Nothing else in this room.
Being pretty wary now, does the bed look like it could be booby trapped? Because I want to search in under the bed.
Make me a perception check, please.
6.
You can't detect any traps currently.
Well, being confident in my own abilities, I'll assume I did really well there, so I will investigate the bed.
Oh.
See if I can find anything under the mattress, in the bed, under the bed.
So useless tonight.
No,
Roll an
right.
investigation.
Perception is our Achilles heel. Investigation, come on. Let's get a good one. Oh, it's double digits at least, 13.
You find a mattress, a pillow, a bedsheet, and a duvet.
Not even in the
Still
skin
made,
rags.
not
Right.
slept in.
Okay.
Not slept in.
Not slept in.
Weird. Well, should we make our way up? Doesn't seem to be much here.
There's another room, isn't there?
Yeah, there's another room.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were in the second room. Sorry. My bad.
And that's my bad. The stairs actually finish at this point.
Stairs finish at this point.
So you step onto this landing. There are no more stairs. That was me not paying attention to my map. So apologies for that. So you climb onto the stairs onto a second landing. The stairs do not continue up. You just see sort of a dome above you.
Right.
Can we surmise from the outside that from the inside, the roof we're looking at is probably what we saw to be the top of the lighthouse?
You can certainly surmise that this is definitely not the top.
It's alright, got that far.
Must be more stairs somewhere.
There must be. Should we go and have a look?
Absolutely. After you.
Oh, balls. Alright.
You're the one with the big torch.
Yeah, and I bloody volunteered like a
So
idiot.
as you step into the next room, about 10 feet in front of you are two beds spaced along the sort of western wall. In front of one is a chest. And again, this is sort of a third of the circle. You then, on the far wall, see another door which is closed, and next to it is a statue.
There's a statue.
I mean, I'm not touching anything Medistone anymore, so I got absolutely clobbered by one last time, so I will be leaving that fucker alone. I'll tell you that.
Spent the first 6 rounds of combat stunned.
Are we, again, are we all now in the room again? All of us?
You are all now in the room.
And do not touch the chest.
Go on. You investigate it, make sure it's safe, and then I will look at it.
We said we would look first, then
You said we would touch the death chest last. You didn't say anything about any other chests.
Oh, that's awful cunning of you, Ander. Bloody
This is a
hell,
thieves' lair. There's going to be so much good stuff here. You can't let me not touch anything.
Alright.
As long as you're careful.
Yeah. Careful with
That's
my
why I want a Dagon to check.
Careful with my middle mate. Oops.
So, 2 beds, one with a chest.
I will take that as canon.
He's in. Can I check what's the state of the beds? Are they look unslept in as well?
Yes. Perfect.
So can I discern from that this? Well, people wouldn't have left in a hurry if it's nicely made. But does that mean people potentially haven't been in here for a while then? Does it look like it's been deserted for a while, this floor?
There is a layer of dust.
Okay.
You don't see any footprints in the dust.
I'm more interested in the statue at the moment. I'm not ignoring the chest.
Same.
I'm more interested in the statue, so I want to investigate whatever that.
I will.
You're investigating the statue.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch it. So that's perception.
I
So
will.
where are you going to?
Oh, fuck. Where am I going to? I'm not near it then yet. Are we like just on the entrance of the room?
If you think of the third of a room, you have entered through a door here.
Yeah.
And there's a
It's on the far
statue sort of up here next to another door.
Next to another door.
So you're still at the opposite end of the room, effectively.
Right.
While you're pondering the statue, I'm going to chuck a stone at the chest. See what happens.
As you chuck a stone at the chest, you just hear a dull thunk, and the stone bounces off.
That's promising.
I have Could I have a quick look around to see if I see any pressure plates or any kind of dentures on the walls that would identify traps of some kind?
Make me a perception check, please.
That is a natural 20 for a 25.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
I will say at this point, your eyes bleed back to normal. And as you look around, you see no pressure plates. You see no indentures on the wall. You see the door. You see the statue. And now you pay close attention. Underneath that fine layer of dust, the floor in front of the door is discoloured.
Be careful with the floor there. It seems to be a slightly discoloured from the rest. Not entirely sure what that is about.
Whereabouts? Under the chest, or near the door?
Near the door.
Righto.
I will grab a pebble from the ones I picked up at the canal, and then I will cast light on it, and I will throw it to the area that I see the discolor. See if I can get slightly more information with light over, perhaps.
Cool. As you throw the lit pebble, and it sort of skitters across the wooden floor, the door itself is lit, and you now see what looks like a simple wooden door with a keyhole lock. And you also now see the statue lit up in more detail. And it is a coiled up snake, which then leans over and its head points down towards the door.
The door
And
we've
now
just
as
come in.
the
or the
light
door-
shines the door that's furthest away from you, now that the light is on the floor, you can see that the area around the door is blackened.
So, seems like that statue spits something. Perhaps when we try to open, if we try to open the door or something.
Yeah.
Do you want me to try to see if there's any mechanism I can disarm or try and nullify the statue in any way?
Perhaps it doesn't seem to be activated by pressure, so we can get closer. Perhaps if some of us look at the statue, the others look at the door, we could perhaps find something.
Okay. So I'd like to go over to the statue to see if there's anything I can find to potentially disarm or nullify what this statue may do.
Make me an investigation check, please.
And I aid, please.
With advantage.
16.
As you get closer to the statue and you look up into this sort of snake's open mouth, you now see what looks like a hole just at the roof of the mouth. Again, blackened around the outside. And as you then study the rest of the statue, you see what looks like a wire coming out of the foot of it, which then goes into the wall.
There appears to be a wire mechanism that then links to a hole in the snake's mouth. My only concern is cutting the wire may set it off. Do I know with that roll whether it's like a false, like a tripwire almost? Or do I think it to be the genuine
that,
mechanism?
I'm going to say make me a... Make me a wisdom check, but add your proficiency modifier. Because there's no thief check as such.
I suppose I could do a sleight of hand check.
It might do the same. It might have the same thing on, but...
13.
So you get a vague, very vague idea that the wire is somehow connected to the triggering mechanism. You're not sure where that trigger mechanism may be, and clearly something then happens with this statue. That's all the information you're getting out of that check.
So I will stand back away from the mouth of the snake as I gesture to everyone else, and then I will use my dagger to cut the wire.
You're near the statue?
I'm away from the mouth, but obviously the wire runs down into the floor, so I'm away from harm in my head. I believe I'm away from harm.
Describe to me exactly where you're positioning yourself, because at the minute... So
if the snake is pointing towards the door like this... Yeah.
You've got door and wall. So door, wall. Statue is sort of here, facing towards the door.
Yeah.
The wire itself runs from the statue into the wall here.
So I'm going to be behind the statue.
Right.
The arse end, not the head end, if I can, to then cut the wire.
Make me a sleight of hand check now.
25. I should get the blueprints to the trap at this point, I think, for 25.
You get your dagger and you go to cut the wire, and as you gently apply pressure, you hear a click. You hear the mechanism move, and you stop.
Okay.
You don't think that is probably... Or you think that will probably set it off.
Okay. Scratch that. I think it's time for a plan B. Could we potentially... we either need to find the mechanism or cover the mouth with something, so then if it does shoot out, it won't get us.
So, you found some sort of connection to
Yes, I believe I found a tripwire that goes into the wall.
And that's between the statue and the wall, not something you could walk past.
Yep.
Yeah. So, not exactly a tripwire. So where might it go? Do you think if you open the door,
it goes into the wall? But the problem is to open the door is in the firing line for the snake.
Don't I remember you grabbing some skull off a pedestal without using your hand? How'd you do that before, under?
Yes, I have got my mage hand, but
If we're in the other room with you poking your head through the door that we know that we can get through because we got through it, and you use the mage hand and see what god-awful thing happens, you might be able to open the door and see if it sets something off.
Seems as good an idea as any. Okay. I'm down for that.
Fuck me, I'm getting out of here.
No, there's me trying to be safety, Sean, and you... Okay, let's go. It's got a 30-foot range, so if we're at the entry door that we came in, could I still reach the door handle for the other door?
Yep.
Okay. Then I will go with Dargon's plan.
Okay.
Try and open the door with my mage hand.
Mage hand. And your magical hand reaches forward, goes to the door handle, turns it. Nothing happens. The door does not open.
While I'm at it, can I try and open the chest?
With the mage hand.
Yeah.
Mage hand comes back, floats the chest. There is a lock on the chest.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Right, okay. Wow. That was an anticlimax. I know. You never know though, do you? It might have set off a trap and then I could just swan in. I think we need a plan C. So
Can you cut the wire?
as I went to cut it, it felt like it was going to activate. So I feel like cutting the wire won't disarm the trap, but set it off. Unless, because my only worry is if it's like acid or poison, or I don't know if it's going to have some sort of vapor or fume that may choke us, even if it doesn't come into contact with us. So I think maybe it might be clues elsewhere in the room.
At this point, I will cast Detect Magic.
Okay. As that sort of shimmer goes across your eyes and you look around the room, obviously your friend's items have various greens over them. As you focus on the door, there is the smallest line of green, or the smallest glow of green inside the lock. And then as you look towards the statue, you see oranges and blues flowing around that top of the mouth.
Looks like there's more than just tripwires going on. There's a bit of magic going on with that door, with that statue. I think the lock's been. I think the lock's been enchanted, and I think it's probably, especially with the discoloration of the wood, lightning or fire comes out of that statue. Could be something else. Don't know. As you say, could conjure up anything, but definitely, definitely spits out something. Maybe fire. Couldn't tell you, I'm afraid. But I don't quite know if you. I don't know how you get close to it to unlock it. Seems a bit dodgy.
How big is the snake's mouth? I'll tell you why I'm thinking. I have an iron pot in my adventuring gear. I'm thinking if I put the pot over its mouth and then cut the wire and set it off, the pot will either take the brunt of the damage or prevent it getting us. It's my thought process.
As you look at the snake, you get the impression you could probably fit this iron pot over it.
Okay, I'll relay my plan to the group. What do we think? Do you think it's worth a try?
I think anything's worth a try.
Best plan as any.
I assume I didn't see any magic on the chest. Did I
say that again? Sorry.
Did I see any magic aura around the chest or any other part of the room?
Nope.
Hey Andrew, I'm not saying he's not trapped, but there's nothing magical about the chest.
I should deal with my goodie bag after I've sorted this out, and I'd get the pot on the mouth, and then I'd go back to behind where I was going to cut the wire before and proceed to cut the wire.
As you cut through the wire, there is a clunk, and then you just hear this, and you feel the heat. You can see this huge gout of flame bursting inside the iron pot and sort of licking back around the snake's head as it comes out. It doesn't take very long for the pot to begin to glow.
And is the fire stopping?
No.
Fuck. I've turned it on forever, haven't I?
Well, that looks like it's a predicament, and now
Yeah.
what?
I think we're going to have to try and get through this door quick.
Yep.
Yep. I cast Armour of Agathis.
You said it. Okay.
Fucking going
Okay.
for it.
If the rest of you see this... What colour is your Armour of Agathis taking?
I'm gonna go with a golden yellow.
So you see this sort of golden yellow sheen form around Dargon's body. It's there for a second before it looks as if it disappears, but then as he moves you still see a bit of a golden shimmer. What are we
That's
doing?
new.
Total faith in you, Ander. This is just precaution.
No, by all means, do what you got to do.
Well, you've got to do the door quickly. Come on, you've got to unlock it.
But you said it was magic. I was
Oh,
hoping you were going to sort out the spell while I sorted out the chest.
I can't do that. Can you do it, Kirit?
I will move closer. Not too close. Oh, I've got 120 feet. No, I don't move closer. I'll cast the spell magic. I'll cast the spell magic on the keyhole.
As you go to cast Dispel Magic on the keyhole, whatever enchantment was there no longer exists.
Oh.
Interesting.
What happened, Kirit? Can we go?
It's all good. We can go.
Can I
can
run
you
over to the
You'll
chest?
hear the fire roaring in the pot.
Can
you want to check the chest?
Yeah, it's locked. So, can I check it for any traps before I try and pick the lock, please?
Perception check, please.
Although I have chucked a thing at it, I'm still a bit wary.
Kirit, can you not do the same thing on the magic inside the statue?
Question: Did I cast the spell?
You did cast the spell.
Okay.
It just didn't catch on anything.
Cool. I will then say to Dargon, I only have so much that I can do of that type of magic. I need to save myself in case something worse happens.
Alright, I understand.
15
And,
on the perception. 1-5.
You can't detect any traps. You're pretty confident in this one. There's no traps on this.
I shall try and pick the lock then. Does the key I've got fit in the lock first?
No.
Okay, I'll try and pick the lock.
Okay. Roll me a d20 with your proficiency modifier, please. Proficiency bonus.
$15 again.
And this one, very easily, just tink, lock comes off, chest opens up. Inside, you find 500 gold pieces,
Ooh.
Now we're talking.
You find
Yep.
one emerald.
Oh, you don't have that one, Kira. I can tell you that now. Yep.
And you also find another key.
Ah.
Right at the bottom are some very dark thieves' robes. And the rest is just useless shit, basically.
So when you
They're the
say
only things of note.
dark thieves' robes, like my cloak of darkness, or
No, these are the sort of robes that you would recognise as those used by thieves when they're trying to maintain hidden, be stealthy, but also not be recognised. Let's think of it
I'll
like
stick
a
them.
thieves' outfit.
I'll stick him in my bag. Although, would I already have one? Am I already dressed in it? I am, aren't I? Kinda.
I don't know, are you?
Well, I suppose I've changed into my mithril armour. I've got fucking gauntlets on, snazzy elven boots. I am silent with those on, and then my cloak of darkness, so maybe not. I'll stow it just in case we come across more thieves and I need to look like a badass. Yeah, so I'll stow them in my bag of holding, along with the emerald, obviously, and the key. I'm
This
happy with
key
that.
has a slightly abnormal shape to it. Carry on, sorry.
I was just asking what we were doing because the fire's in the pot.
Okay.
Just-
It is in the pot.
I know, so I run over to the door with the key. Does the key look like it fits the lock?
No.
Does the
The pot at this point is beginning to glow orange, almost a white.
does the door open? And is it?
So, with it not being a magic door, I'll just try and open it. Does it open?
Does not open. It is still locked.
I will try and pick the lock then, please.
Roll me a d20 and add your proficiency bonus, please.
Cock 9.
At this point, I would like to cover Ander with my shield in between him and the statue,
Okay.
expecting the worst at any minute.
As you work with your thieves' tools and your lockpick, clunk, lockpick breaks.
That's the last one. Okay. I've been through so many sets of them.
Yeah, in this one building.
Yeah.
Was that it, Ander? Is it open?
I think only brute force will open this door now.
All right, get out of the way.
And as you say that, bloop, a bit of molten metal falls onto the floor and you hear a
Or do we move the statue towards the door and let it blast the door open?
I don't think we have the time to do that. Doggone, go.
Yeah,
Go!
I'm keeping the shield in a way to protect us from the statue, and I am gonna hoof it.
Bloop. Roll me a strength check.
Can I assist with my ogre gloves? So it gets advantage.
Give it
Okay,
advantage.
Yeah. So 21.
Oh, beauty.
16 plus 5.
Ander and Dargon charge the door and smash it inwards. They sort of fall on top of the door as it just falls off the hinges and smacks down in the middle of the room. I need Kirik and Bothrid now to make athletics checks as the pot itself is just on the brink of failing. So you need to get in
If
this room
you're-
quick if
If you're following.
Yes.
Now, Bothrid gets
Um,
advantage on athletics.
Good.
Apparently, he's going to get hurt.
wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, doesn't seem to matter. I've rolled a grand 5.
Oh, shite.
Okay, you both look at each other and jump towards the door and jump to run towards the door, and as you both get just to the door, the pot just boom. You both take 56 points of fire damage.
Oh, shit.
Whoa! Fucking hell.
56?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, no.
I'm on 17.
So is Bothrid.
So it's Bothrid, yeah. We should
Yeah.
have the same health.
As you both then sort of roll through the door, burning, sort of singed armour.
Immediately start trying to pat them out.
Yeah, I'll try to
And
pat myself
Bothrid's
out.
sort of rolling on the floor. And while this is going on, you look back through the door, and that gout of flame is still burning. And you can now start to see the wood of the floor beginning to glow and heat up.
Oh, crap. We're going to burn the bloody lighthouse down. Kirik, Bothrid, you.
Fuck.
You look a bit singed. You guys alright?
Yeah. Just seems to be more trouble coming.
Yeah. Can we not? Is there no way that we can get rid of that? Stop that statue?
Not really. Not on my end.
You know, when I rolled really good and got the 25 to investigate the traps on the statue, there wasn't like a key mechanism on the statue, was there?
No.
Bolts.
Is
There's
there,
no point putting.
is there anywhere from the room we're in at the moment where we will be able to see the head of the statue without getting burnt, like through the door or something?
No, you'd have to go back out the door. And at the minute, that
Yikes.
doorway is just a total cone of flame.
There's no point trying to douse the flame because it's not going to work, is it?
You're completely covering the whole of the door.
Mm-hmm.
What about if you broke the statue apart with it'll probably take the. I was going to say, if you thunder waved it a bit, it'll probably take the lighthouse down as well. wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd already thought of it, and I was like, pretty sure we're going to bring the place down on me if we try and get rid of a fucking statue.
Best hurry up then.
You best hurry up, yeah.
Yeah.
So we smash through the door. What do we see?
As you now look around, the light from this sort of gout of flame lighting the whole room, you see a ladder on the northern wall. You see another bed towards the eastern wall with a chest at the foot of it. And now you pay attention to where the door fell. There is a body underneath the door.
I'll rip the door up and off the body. What does the body look like?
The body is not in armour. The body is in robes similar to the ones that you've just picked up under, although the others don't know this. So the body is just in these dark robes. It has a hood, but the hood is not up, and there is also sort of a face covering which is currently around like a snood, just around the neck. This body is positioned in such the way and is positioned next to the ladder. It's not difficult for any of you to gauge that it looks like this one has fallen off the ladder and just killed itself with the impact of the fall.
Do I recognise the body from the last time I was in here talking to a buyer?
No.
Okay.
With my detect magic, am I seeing anything in this room?
No.
If I look up at the trapdoor, the ladder, anything?
The chest.
There's a chest in here as well, sorry?
Nope.
Yep.
There is a chest at the foot of the bed on the eastern wall.
Okay. There's no magic in here. Not that I can see or detect anyway.
And this dead body appears to be one of the thieves. I don't recognise him, but I recognise his garb.
Well, I didn't. When I floated up to the top, all I saw was the trap door. So I'm assuming that the top of this is the are those chests and whatever other traps are up there. We know not to touch the glass, but what do we think? We haven't got long.
Can I?
And as you say that, you hear the creak of the floorboard. You now hear the whoosh of fire as the fire is now set fire. Oh well, the gout of flame has now set fire to the floorboards, and they're starting to burn. The fire is growing.
Can I quickly search the dead thief to see if he has any more lockpicks? Because if the trapdoor's locked, we're fucked.
Make me an investigation check, please.
Come on. 13.
Not very difficult to search this body. He does have a full thieves' tools set, which comes with 10 lockpicks.
Whee! I'll smash them all in a minute.
So, should we try this trap door?
Yes, see if it's locked.
Yes.
All right. So I'll climb up, and I will investigate for traps, even though I know that there's no magic around the trapdoor.
Make me a perception check, please.
Oh, 22.
As you climb up and you then look at the handle of the trapdoor, you see a number of small holes around the handle. And you also see what looks just underneath the handle to be another wire mechanism looped around the handle itself.
Alright, I will it's definitely trapped, guys. Do you think you can do anything with it? And because if not, I'm just gonna send some magic missiles at this bloody trapdoor. I'll come back down the ladder, and because I can't do anything and I'll be in someone's way anyway.
I will go and see if I can disarm it.
Okay, so you climb up the ladder.
But not actually do anything yet, just see if I can.
Make me a perception check.
17. Not too bad.
So you see the same mechanism, and you begin to understand that if the handle is pulled down and then turned, that will pull the wire. And I'm going to say for this, you actually test the wire itself and pull it very gently, and as you pull it very gently, spikes come out of the small holes just a little bit.
That gives me a bit of a sweat on. I'm getting a flashback. Okay, right.
We're all getting a sweat on here. It's bloody hot in here.
Okay, so the door handle, the trapdoor is booby trapped. If we pull the handle, spikes come out, and I fear we may suffer the same fate I did yesterday. But the previous chest gave me a key. This chest may also garner something that may get us out of here. So I'm going to try and see if the chest has any traps, but there's no magic on there. If it's not got any traps, I'll try and unlock it, please.
Make me a quick perception check.
Fuck me, 5.
You can't detect any traps.
I'm going to try and unlock it anyway. You know,
do me a D20 with proficiency bonus, please.
Can I use a lucky point just in case, because it's quite a tense moment. So I'll do it twice, see what I get.
That allows you to re-roll.
Fucking hell. The best I got was a 12.
This lock was not difficult at all.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Throw it off. You find another 50 gold pieces,
Nice.
another set of thieves' tools with 10 lockpicks in.
Happy with that.
You find a ruby.
Oh, now we're talking. You're not having that one either.
And I need you to make me an investigation check, please.
Oh, okay. 6.
Okay, that's all you find.
Oh. Just there. Let's find another ruby. I should have checked while I was up there. There was no lock for any keys to go in, was there, while I was up at the trapdoor?
Now you think back, there were 2 locks on this trapdoor with certain shapes, one of which matches one of the keys you currently have in your possession.
And there wasn't one on the other body, so we have 2 keys. Only one of them fits the lock. My fear is that the other key is in the death chest on the ground floor, and you need to simultaneously to get to the top. The only problem is, the only way to go is up, because the way back is blocked.
Does it look like a wooden trapdoor?
Yes.
Fire 3 magic missiles at it.
Doing this, I try and dive backwards, because obviously
Okay.
there's a chest near the trapdoor.
You're on the. You're
Chest
still
is on the floor.
Yeah, you're still
by
on the, you're
bed.
still on the floor next to all of
I'm
them.
not in friendly fire distance, okay?
Yeah.
Roll damage for me.
One, 2. Where's the other one? 3. 13 points of damage.
So these 3 bolts strike the trapdoor, and cracks appear in the wood. Another crack appears in the wood, and then a hole appears in the trapdoor itself. It's not open, but there's a hole big enough to probably get a hand through.
Oh, thinking about it, do you think if I was to fire ice knife at the snake's mouth when it does the cold blast, do you think it'd stop the flame?
Ooh. Right,
Worth a try.
definitely worth a try.
Worth a
I'm having a
try
bash at
on
that.
that.
I thought we couldn't see the head from this room though.
You couldn't get out to see the head to do anything with it.
Oh yeah, I was just going to do the same as what I just did then. I was going to fire a magic missile at his head. If I could see it, literally, line of sight and far enough away, I was just going to fire something at it. Maybe even a hand
magic
axe.
missile automatically hits their target.
Yeah.
But back to Ander.
Sorry, carry on.
So if I can't see if I fire it towards the flame I can see coming at us.
So from where you're stood at the chest, based on the angle of this, yes, you could see where the flame is coming out of, and you can probably get a rough estimate on where you need to throw this knife.
I will have a go then. I'll
Roll
fire
me the
my
attack.
Okay. 16 to hit.
The ice knife, and as it goes through the flame parts around it, and you strike the hood of the mouth of this snake statue. Roll damage, and also roll the explosive damage.
Well, the explosive damage is a dexterity saving throw. So it's 9
Which it
piercing
will
damage.
automatically fail.
So then that'll be 2d6 cold damage. 9 cold damage.
So that was how much damage in total?
9 and 9.
So 18 points of damage. As the ice knife strikes, and then the whole front of the snake statue is now encased in ice, and the flame has stopped. However, the floorboards are totally on fire in that other room, and flames are still licking into your room at this point. So you've stopped the onslaught of flame, but there is still a fire-based problem in the next room.
Can I pick up some of the sheets from the bed and start kind of like snuffing the flames? Possible.
What the fuck kind of check do I do for that?
Wafting.
Make me a wafting check. I am...
Dexterity?
Dex? Yeah. So.
I would have thought maybe Dex.
Yeah, go on then, make me a dex check.
17.
Ooh.
So you do manage to sort of pat the flames down at the door, and as you do so, make me a strength check.
3.
Yeah, okay, so you're fine. You're not hitting the floor hard enough. You know if you hit this floor any harder, it's potentially going to go. It's been weakened significantly. You managed to sort of just about pat the flames down here. There are some further flames in the room, but that would involve you stepping back across the threshold onto this area of floor, which you've just gauged is potentially weaker.
Since I'm not...
Can we throw some rags past it? Some sort, at risk of them.
Can we chuck out water skins over it or something?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, sure. I'll grab my water skin.
We'll jump in and fucking do it.
Hang on. Whoa. At this point, Bothrid, having seen all this, steps forward, holds out his hand, and whispers some words, and you see a sphere of water appear in the air.
What?
And then drop and splash on top of this fire,
presumably caving in part of the,
putting it out.
Caving in part of the floor as well.
You then hear the as part of the ceiling or the floor collapses, and there is a hole. You can still get back through the door, but there is a definite hole now, which there's precarious, very precarious. We can consider that now difficult terrain. And there'll also obviously be some checks to potentially make to get back across that. Be thankful that Bothrid changed his spells last night. This morning.
I kept looking at my spells being like, I don't have create water, damn it.
Oh man.
So that was my DM's note, where if they manage to do something with the statue, then I'll let them off. But
I look at Bothrid and I say, good thinking. Well done.
Fire, water, gone.
Yes, that's usually how it goes.
Well, with the danger out of the way, we have a door with a hole in it. Might be able to get your someone's hand through, if that helps. If not, do we just keep hitting it?
I'm the one with the smallest hands, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Damn my dainty figure. Okay, is that? But then, even if I can get my hand through the hole, what am I going to do? If I can't see nothing on the other side necessarily.
Yeah.
In my thieves' tool, I've got a little mirror on a stick, so I can. What I'm going to try and do is poke it through to see if I can see any mechanism on the other side.
I'm going to let you get away with that because I like the idea. I'm going to say make me a perception check with disadvantage, though, because it's only a very small mirror.
True. 7.
difficult for you to get the right angle, sort of where you are, and with this tiny this small hole big enough for a hand to fit through, you can't quite see enough to get any real information that would help at this point.
So I feel we either need to go for brute strength and smash it open from a distance, or I try and clamber down and go to the other chest where I think the key may be.
Can you reach through and see if there's just a handle on the other side? We might be trapped though, so if you don't want to do it, I understand.
The spikes make me wary.
Yeah, I get that.
I couldn't see any mechanism to disarm it, only how to set it off. Whereas I feel confident now, having been a victim of the other trap in the other chest, I feel I could disarm it. Unless you want to try smashing it again from a distance to see if anything can blast the door open.
Can do, but I'm running out of me ability to do stuff like that. So as long as there's nothing else here, not got that much left. Although, bear with. All right, let's give this a go. See what happens. Andy, you coming down the ladder?
I will move firmly out of the way. Yes.
Okay, gonna try an Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Cantrip. So I can blast that
about.
fucking thing out of the way. Doesn't matter how long it takes. But I'll still have to roll
Eldritch
it.
blasting this
You
stuff.
can't really miss. So, roll me damage, please.
Well, I'll do one at a time then.
So I
one,
thought
one d10.
I could just use my mage hand, couldn't I?
Yeah, you probably could. But
I
7.
like your way better.
7
Okay.
force damage.
Yep.
What does the Eldritch Blast look like?
Crackling streak.
Does it look like a Hadouken in Street Fighter?
I think was more Dargon describe your Eldritch Blast. So yes, it's
Yeah.
a crackling beam of energy. But
A
what
beam of
form does
crackling
that take
energy
from you?
streaks towards the creature. I hate to sound like a broken record, but it is going to be some sort of like golden lightning.
It's got to be,
Because also because of the thunder-esque to his name, to Thunderwave and stuff like that, it's got to have some lightning in it. So yeah, it's going to be golden sort of lightning. So yeah, it's going to be that.
That's cool.
I'm going to tweak that slightly and actually say it's sort of a golden ray
Oh yeah,
that just crackles with lightning around it
like it.
as you're firing. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like this lightning effect around a central golden ray.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do I need to hit it
Second
again?
bunch of damage.
Second.
Are you going again?
Until that door's gone.
And the roof, I
So with
imagine.
your first beam or your first Eldritch Blast, you create a bigger hole. This time probably big enough to get a head through.
I'm going to hit it once more for an 8.
As that second blast goes through, the trapdoor itself is gone. You can now, there is enough room for you guys to crawl your way in. However, the locking mechanisms are still in place. Bent slightly. You can see where the two keyholes were. You can see the still metallic locking mechanisms just jammed into the floor. They are bent upwards now, so where this door was latched and would have opened upwards, you have just totally blasted all the wood away, and there's now just this bent metal, and the two. You can still see the two keyholes and sort of the locking, the intricacies of the locking mechanism in there. But there's enough room for you all to squeeze through now.
Cool. If you don't mind, I'm a bit bigger than the rest of you guys. You go in first if that's okay on this one. But,
do you think I should... No, I was going to say, do you think I should turn the handle and set off the spikes
begins
anyway?
to filters down. The handle is gone at this point.
Okay. I will volunteer to go first then, being the smallest. So I'll try and squeeze through the gap.
Before kind of Bothrid goes, I will cast a 4th level Cure Wounds on him. $26 points of healing for Bothrid.
Oh yeah, you're both pretty fucked actually, aren't you?
See some of the burns and everything begin to heal up. Me nods. As Ander now just crawls his way up and manages to sort of get himself through onto the top floor. As you climb through, you see the dome, and you see sort of alternating panes now at this point as you enter. There is sort of a pane of glass, a pane of something else you've not quite figured out yet. You see in the centre of the room the fire pit used as the beacon, and as you climb up and you're now sort of facing south, to your left you see 5 chests which look like they go around the other side of the fire pit, and you also now see a pile of gemstones, and that is where we're going to leave it tonight.
Let me write that down.
So, an interesting episode, another puzzle, another bunch of traps. We hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did. Great to add a different dynamic to the episode for once, not just combat, not just RP, but a little bit more problem solving. As always, have been your Dungeon Master for the night, Matt Isbell. Massive thanks to my players for being awesome. Massive thanks to BattleBards, Tabletop Audio, Bend Sound for all our sound effects and ambience. I'll do the shout outs again to D&D Beyond and Incarnate. Incarnate's how I've created the maps for this session and some of the other sessions that we will hopefully have in the next couple of weeks. With that, we will leave it there for tonight. Thank you all once again. Good night and see you next week.